Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got another review on the team of the season Alexander Isak card. We're going to go through the card as details, stats, clips and summary, as well as the grind requirements for you guys to get your hands on him. But before we get into all of that, if I could ask you guys to please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you know when I upload, and comment down below if you're going to be doing this card. And now let's get into the video. So guys, this is a team that I used Alexander Isak and I played him in the point of that attack in the 4-2-3-1. And overall guys, my first impressions of this card, I really like how this card played. There are some really key aspects of this card that I think are missing, but we will get into that. Let's just get into the review. Alexander Isak, 6'4", high-low work rates, right-footed, 4-star skill moves, 5-star weak foot, 5 games played, 6 goals scored and 1 assist. Now guys, all of this is fantastic. Actually, I think this is one of the most well-rounded free cards that we've had all year, especially from a stats perspective, from a work rates perspective, from a skill moves and weak foot perspective, and then decent return in Division 2 as well. In terms of the chemistry guys, I put the Maestro on him, and it's for a very few select key stats, which we will get into just in a minute, but I thought that one fit him the best, which leads us into the stats, the key pros of the card. I do feel like his physicality is a big one. His strength, aggression, stamina, jumping, heading accuracy, all phenomenal for a card of that size. I do feel like his shooting is hit and miss. When he does get it right though guys, my god is it good, but a lot of the time he will mess things up as well. Considering he is so tall as well guys, I feel like his pace is really good as well, and his passing is pretty decent too. I do feel like at times he was lacking a little bit in the passing. I think the vision isn't as high as what this would have you believe. It does say 94 there. I think it's a little lower than that because he doesn't always play those sliding passes which you need him to be able to play. But overall guys, I do think again his overall game is fantastic. In terms of the weaknesses guys, the reactions is a big one because he's so big and has such low reactions. He does move a little clunky, so you do need to boost his reactions a little bit. His long pass is a little bit poor as well, so playing those longer passes, especially with the vision being a little bit lower than I think it says here, it means that he struggles a little bit with those longer passes as well. And in general, his long shots are quite poor as well guys. His finishing is very hit and miss, and I don't know why that is. I think it's because I rely too much on finesse shots and this card doesn't really gel with them, but I do feel like he struggled a little bit on those as well. In terms of the traits, he's got only 2, the speed dribbler and the outside of the fish shot trait. So now that we've covered that, let's get into what the grind requirements are for you guys to get your hands on him. So guys, getting into team of the season Isak's requirements. Assist 3 goals with crosses in the La Liga links friendly game mode. Score 4 finesse goals using players with a 4-star weak foot in the La Liga links. Score 15 goals in La Liga links. Win 9 matches and score in 11 separate matches with players with minimum of 4 skill move rating. Now guys, the thing that you really need to pay attention for is this bit actually. Scoring 11 matches with 4-star skill move players, because you may not notice that initially, and I do feel like that's something really important to point out because I actually scored in a couple of games with Tony Cruz, who only has 3-star skill moves, and it didn't add on obviously to this here, so just be careful of that as well. This one is a bit of a headache as well, just in terms of getting the crosses and getting the goals. If you can find someone who'll do it with you in one game, then that would be the easiest way to go for it. But overall guys, actually I think this isn't too bad in terms of the requirements. Fairly easy to do and actually shorter than most cards as well. Now that we've covered that guys, let's get into some of the clips that I got with him. So guys, getting into some of Alexander Isak's clips, and what you guys are going to see is his general ability to play up front in that striker role and do all the things that you'd want a big man striker to be able to do. Now the first thing we'll get into guys is his pace. Now for someone who is 6'4" guys, he moves really quickly. I think everything with this card in terms of how a small player plays has to be taken with a pinch of salt because this is a big player guys. He's not small and slight, and although his body type isn't so bulky, he still does have some of the shortcomings of a bigger striker. However, his pace is very good nonetheless for a bigger player. In terms of the dribbling stats guys, I feel like his dribbling is pretty decent. You guys can see me moving really well in between defenders there with this card, and that's really surprising I think for a lot of people because this card shouldn't be able to move as well as it does, so it really does lend itself to being a very good card just in terms of technical capability. In terms of his passing guys, again like we discussed before, the link up play with the short passing is good. If we start to stretch the play a little more with longer passing, we do need that chemistry style just to help him up and prop him up a little more just in terms of his capability when he's giving the ball and going with his teammates. In terms of his physicality and mainly relating to his physical play and his heading, I think that's all tremendous guys. He really does play well. He's a big strong lad, skinny body type as well, so moves relatively well but still able to hold off anybody he comes up against, so really did love that part of this card as well, which leads me into the final factor about this card, which is his shooting. Now guys, I have taken a lot of time to discuss this one. There are going to be a lot of clips rolling whilst I talk about this, but the first thing I need to mention to you guys, like I said before earlier in the video, his shooting is very hit and miss, and you guys will have seen that from a number of clips here. I think it is because I rely on the finesse shot quite a lot, whereas with other players that gels quite nicely. This card is more for the power strikes, more for the power shots, rather than finessing it into corners and things like that. I do feel like that whilst his shooting was good, I think that my lack in using a different type of shooting style, mainly a power strike, was what held him back. When you do get the shots into the right areas, he is absolutely phenomenal. He hits the side netting there on that one, and these goals here coming up, they're all very good finishes. Even the penalty is struck well, struck cleanly, and exactly where I put the ball, holding off the defender here again, good strength. So again, guys, I do feel like his finishing is decent. I just feel like if you do rely on the finesse shot a little more, this card may not be the right one for you. Rely more on those power strikes, and he does have that 5-star weak foot as well, so it's just fantastic to have, just in terms of being able to do everything from a goal scoring perspective. Here is the header he scored for me, and then in the final clip, guys, you're just going to see more of the same again, him using his size, power, and great finishing ability here to get in on the defense and then smashes into the back of the net with lovely finesse. So guys, getting into this final Alexander Isak summary, of course doesn't cost you anything on the PlayStation, Xbox, or the PC, just your time to grind out this card. Now in terms of chemistry style, guys, I really did look at the engine to start with. Now if we just get into the key stats, of course, first before we go into the chemistry style, actually, the pace is decent for a big man. Decent shooting, but very hit and miss, like I said, especially with finesse shots. His reactions is the one you need to watch out for, guys, especially in that dribbling stat category. Tremendous physicality, tremendous heading as well. Short passing could use a little boost, so could long passing, but I think that vision definitely is lower than what this card would be, believe. If you start him off on a basic, just to see what he starts off on, guys, it's actually very nice. The boost that basic gives him, however, doesn't help out his reactions as much as we'd want them to. You could look at something like an engine. That would boost his passing, speed, and dribbling in there, but his reactions are still a key one, guys, and because he's such a big player, you do want to focus on that. I would recommend the Maestro for this card, and I know that's different from what a lot of people may say, but what this does gives you is extra long shots, so you're able to ping from outside the box. It gives you good reactions, so then you're able to deal with that as well, and it boosts his long passing and gives his vision a little boost as well, which just makes him a little bit better in the link-up play in the passing department. I feel like, although you could of course boost the pace on this card, I feel like it's wasted because he is so big. You're not going to notice too much of a pace difference there, but you will notice it in the stats when he's able to do a lot more technically with the ball as well. In terms of similar players, guys, I really don't think there's many cards similar to him just because of his size and capability. I do feel like that obviously, of course, the future stars Isak is a very comparable card, but again, we don't have him around to compare, and he is obviously just a better version of that card as well. So overall, guys, I feel this card is very individual in his playstyle as well. Very good player too. In terms of his link ability, no perfect links, of course, strong links to a bunch of players there in his team as well. You also see that I've of course got Record Breaker David Silva, Mikael Oyarzabal, Adnan Januzaj storyline card, as well as the Swedish icon Henrik Larsson. Weak links, of course, to other players in La Liga, as well as other Swedish players like Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Emil Forsberg, players like that as well. Of course, no price comparison to do for today, guys, but that will go straight into my final recommendation for this card, which is this card is a good card to pick up. I feel like my style didn't necessarily gel with him that well. I do feel like he is a fantastic card, and guys, for a free card as well, considering the stage of the game we're at, this is a really good card to link into La Liga teams. You can play big man, little man with him as well, with him and Messi, for example. It would be a really lovely combo to use there as well, because he's so technically capable too, and I do feel like this card is worth the grind. So go out, grab him, and see how you guys get on with him as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, please do smash that like button. Until next time, I will see you all in a bit.